A few months ago, I had to go to Dorking in Surrey to visit a client of mine. Luckily for me, their office wasn't too far from the iconic Box Hill climb, and as I'd never ridden it before, I thought I'd give it a go. Long story short, I didn't do too well, but today I have to go back to the same client and I'm taking my bike with me. I'm going to ride up Box Hill twice. The first time I'm going to use it as a warm-up and just to reacquaint myself with the climb, and then the second time I'm going to give it everything I've got and try and get a PR on Strava. When I rode up last time it was mid-February and I was still using my specialised alley, which was quite heavy. Today it's mid-May and I'm using my Trek, which is carbon framed and a fair bit lighter. Although it's officially late spring, it's still quite cold, only about 12 degrees Celsius, which is why I'm wearing a long sleeve jersey. I feel that sometimes wearing a short sleeved one allows slightly better freedom of movement and makes me just a few nanoseconds quicker. Now, while my overall fitness isn't bad, I can't honestly say that I'm anywhere near being a trained athlete. The best I can probably get away with is that I don't think I'm any less fit now than I was in February. If I was being kind, I might even say that I have the edge today, but let's see. One advantage that I know I do have is weight. It may only be a couple of kilos, which I appreciate is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but at least I know I weigh slightly less than I did a few months ago, and that should help with my power to weight. So that's my first ascent done. I found that pretty tough, even though I was trying to take it fairly easily. I was in my lowest gear, pedalling away around about sort of 70-80 revs per minute, and my heart rate was up about 80-82%. So I'll just go back down and do my second ascent, but like I say, I'll give it everything I've got and try and get a PR. I would imagine that many of you out there have ridden up Box Hill on Zwift, in which case you're probably sitting there wondering why I'm in the middle of the Surrey countryside and not in central London. Well, the answer is very simple. Those good people at Zwift have relocated the climb so that you can ride around the city and then virtually test yourself up one of the UK's iconic climbs. It's located in the Surrey Hills, which is officially designated as an area of outstanding natural beauty. During the summer, there are many sportive rides, all taking in Box Hill and many of the other local climbs such as Leith Hill. And what I've seen of it from just driving around in the car, Box Hill is actually one of the easy ones. When I rode up here in February, it was my first time up Box Hill, and I didn't really know what to expect. Having heard a lot about it, I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it actually was, so I held back and tried to pace myself. When I got to the top, I was fairly surprised that it wasn't the leg and lung buster that I'd expected. But having said that, it's not an easy climb by any stretch of the imagination. It's still a hill, it's still a Cat 4 with an average gradient of 5% for 2.5 kilometres. Yes, I know it's probably a breeze for a 20-year-old racing whippet, but for a 50-year-old shaggy sheepdog, it's a bit of a challenge.
Oh my word, that was tough. I did a combination of slightly higher gears and pedalling slower, and then when I got really tired on the steep bits, I changed down and span for a bit, but I think I've beaten the PR. I'll only know when I get back and look at Strava, but I'm pretty tired after that. heart rate went up to about 93%, so I was really giving it some. So I'll be very surprised if I haven't got a PR. Good morning.
Back in February, I rode the published Box Hill segment in 14 minutes and 41 seconds with an average speed of 10.2 kilometers an hour. By contrast, I completed my ride today in 11 minutes and 27 seconds with an average speed of 13.1 kilometers an hour. That obviously means I have indeed got my Box Hill PR, and as you can see, I also have the PRs on all the little sub-segments as well.
So all in all, not a bad ride. I'm fairly pleased with that. So what about my next challenge up Box Hill? The obvious one is another PR. Yeah, and do under maybe 10 minutes. That's a long way away, but at least it's something to aim for.